All right, and welcome back to Spies and Sabotage. This is the second game of our upper bracket round one, and this match is going to be Daddy's Nest versus Breakfast. We already have our randomized rules, our sabotages already rolled. The dice has been cast, so let's see what we got. For our random rules, we have a drum roll, please. So our first random rule is 4 protect 1. This adds an additional win condition, so you can win the game by knocking down the opponent ancient. Or, after the drafting phase, each team will select a player that is to be protected. If you can kill the enemy's protected hero 3 times, you win the game. Instantly. Game over. So the new win condition ones are pretty interesting. We're having a GC update, so we might have to stall for time here. Coordinator update. Hopefully that doesn't kick us out of our lobby. Let's go continue with the pre-draft festivities, our second randomized rule. It's going to be Dota 6.88. Each team must have a full-time jungler until the game time reaches 10 minutes. So, these two rules, right off the bat, thoughts?
It feels like this game could be much shorter than most because of the 4 protect 1 rule. I wonder if that also encourages some tri-lanes maybe happening with their core hero being protected.
The issue with the tri-lane is you also have to have one hero full-time jungling for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess you're kind of pressed into not doing that then, but we'll see. Kind of interesting.
I'm curious as to what kinds of heroes each team are going to designate as their full-time jungler. Depending on the nature of those heroes and say how survivable they are or how mobile they are, I could easily see that being the hero that they're designated to protect.
All right, and so those are our randomized rules. In addition to our random rules that apply to both teams equally, we also have a selection of sabotages available for the teams to buy. These 4 sabotages were rolled randomly, and they get to pick as many or as few as they would like. Let's see what is available. Our Tier 1 sabotage for this match is Crunch Time. The enemy team will be issued a level 2 draft penalty. This imposes a 70-second penalty to your reserve time. This will cost the teams 1 spy. The second... Did the lobby just die? Lobby just died. We'll keep going, and we'll address this with the back end of production in a second. Our second sabotage will be lane reveal. For each pick during the drafting phase, the enemy team must announce what position that hero will be played as they're drafting. So that really does modify how you think about the Captain's Mode drafting process. The level 3 sabotage, costing 3 spies, is Battle Cry. If an enemy is going to gank a lane, they must type a Battle Cry in all chat before they arrive. This must be at least 5 seconds before they arrive in the lane to execute their gank, and we are very heavily encouraging some creative battle cries. Our fourth and final available sabotage for purchase, Advanced Intel. Costing 4 spies, you get a 2-charge ability where you may ask in all chat for the enemy team to reveal their location, and they must all respond with their current location on the map. And that is a cost of 4 spies for that sabotage. So, keeping in mind our 2 rules of 4 protect 1 and Dota 6.88, let's take a look at all of these sabotages together. So, casters, what do you think of this selection?
Well, the lane reveal and the advanced intel are both particularly powerful in this case. I think that especially if you're up against a team, or rather if you are going to pick advanced intel, you're also going to have an increased incentive to ban out Nature's Prophet in particular. Because one of the problems there is, so they have to give up their location as it stands at that moment, correct? Nature's
Yes,
Prophet
that
easily
is-
repositions. So, I think it's going to affect some of the bands in particular, because you want to make sure that they're there for long enough for you to take action, either ganking them or acting elsewhere. And the lane reveal is going to be particularly vital in the drafting phase if the teams pick it, given that we're talking about a case where they're going to have only 4 heroes being present in lane.
All right, we do have the sabotages selected by the teams coming through right now. So both teams opted to purchase Battlecry and no other sabotages. So both teams are requiring that the enemy team, before a gank, type an all chat Battlecry. So as a player, does this change your perspective on the game? You know that you're not going to have a rotation to kill you, at least completely off guard. There won't be a smoke gank. There won't be anybody invis, because even if they are, they have to tell you they're coming. So thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it makes the 4 protect 1 strategy a whole lot easier in the lane. I'm honestly surprised no one's going for lane reveal, especially when you're choosing one hero that you have to protect. You can just allow yourself very good lane matchups with kill potential to start, advancing yourself towards that win condition, and even in the laning stage. So it's interesting that they would not take that one.
Sorry, pardon me for 1 second. I'm attempting to figure out why my Dota is not updating. And a word for all of our production staff: you will need to update Dota before you can get into the lobby.
Nice. That means Wind Ranger Arcana is out now, right?
It's a
Immortal
1
Treasure
gig
3?
update. It is. It's a 1 gigabyte update.
Oh no.
Nice.
Wow.
Yo, you get my unfiltered reaction for the only thing that I care about in this battle pass.
Or we
This
get your
is-
immense disappointment, either or.
I mean, one or the other. I think it's good television. My immense sadness, or Google
Yeah,
it
it is
in
a Wind Ninja
Arcana.
Arcana. Nice.
Oh.
It's actually Wind Ranger Arcana.
It is.
Holy-
It is.
Yeah, it is Wind Ninja Arcana.
Yo, it looks so good.
Holy club. I'm hoping somebody picks Wind Ninja this game.
Just for Arcana use, yeah.
Yeah, just to flex some people. Because it's a level 575, right? It's quite high still.
Yeah. Yo,
Hey,
I need someone to take my casting
Fafford.
spot.
Hey, Fafford. Fafford.
Yes, I'm here.
Dota is slowly restarting. We are slowly getting this show back on the road.
So kind of looks pretty cool.
It was worth the $500 or whatever I spent on it.
Okay, back to.
Sick.
Are we waiting for the draft or are we looking for lobby? What's the deal?
I think we are looking for lobby at the moment. Yeah. I don't see anything in Lux Captain's mode that's SAS yet. I just see RD2 at the moment.
I'll set my arrows aloft.
Hey, can you all hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, Shafford, can you do me a favor and cut to break screen real quick?
Yeah, I can do that. We'll go to maybe 2 minutes break.
All right, welcome back to Spies and Sabotage. As most of you have figured out by now, we have a 1 gigabyte client update. It is, in fact, the Wind Ranger Arcana, and it looks great. As a small consequence of this, we need to wait for all of our players and production staff to download the 1 gigabyte update, which for some people takes a bit longer than others. So while we are waiting, we will, I guess, continue our pre-draft process while we await the. We're gonna have to hold at one point because we did not get through all of the steps, but we can go back and we can do the
So really quickly, let's review the rules and
Yeah, let's get those up.
it was a pair of interesting ones for this one. So each team has to have a dedicated jungler for the first 10 minutes of the game, and as an alternate win condition, after drafting phase, each team designates and announces a player that they are protecting. If you kill the enemy team's protected hero 3 times, you win and get a bonus spy. So we have 2 rules in this that are going to change a lot of the macro level play early in the game. This does mean that you're going to have things like a side lane that is going to... Do you meet a 2v2 lane, or do you have 2v1s on the map? And a lot of questions like this that they're going to have to answer in the course of their drafting.
So Mugi,
Yeah.
you are the resident coach for this casting duo.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. How
Sure.
insane would it be to completely abandon your offlane and just have one mid, tri-lane safe in a jungle?
I think it's probably pretty awful. just because you're giving up so much like XP from the map, not taking any XP or gold from
That's
the
a
creep wave bottom. Like,
that's a third
sure,
of lane values.
yeah, like you're missing out on a potential 80 last hits in the first 10 minutes by doing that. Not to mention however many levels that is on a solo hero. So I think that's an option that you have, but I think it's probably ill-advised. I think your best option, if you're going to have a full-time jungler, you're going to have to choose some hero that just doesn't die in the laning stage ever, and have that be your 4 protect one. Whether that's something like a Dragon Knight or a Timber Saw, or I don't know, you could even run Morphling Middle. That hero's pretty hard to kill once he has a couple points in attribute shift. But it should be interesting to see how they run their lanes. I think it would be pretty ill-advised, though, to completely abandon a lane in the laning stage.
So
Another
we don't.
question is, how are we defining full-time jungler? Like, is this based on not able to obtain any gold from lane, XP from lane? Because
So this is one of the more subjective rules. They are expected to be farming the jungle the whole time. I will reach out to Garlic and get some clarification on what level of ganking is allowed, but for sure, no remaining in a lane and acquiring, more than is absolutely necessary gold and XP from the lane. If they gank a lane and then hang out and take a couple last hits, they're not jungling. So they should be. The idea of this is to hark back to the wonderful memories of Dota 6.88a, where you would have your Legion commanders and your life stealers and your enigmas. Back when Iron Talon was a purchasable item,
Mhm.
and we would have people who loved to throw games by hanging out in the jungle for an hour, and we're recreating that in this lovely game mode of ours.
We saw a Venomancer picked for this specific rule earlier today. Obviously, it did not go as planned. They made some very poor rotations around the map, but I think if you're looking at heroes that you can stake full time in the jungle that are going to be at least somewhat effective, I think that hero should probably be on your radar, along with like Enigma, Enchantress, and Nature's Prophet.
So who as a jungler in our current patch, who is able to best utilize the jungle? In my own personal experience, the only hero that I can maintain parity with a laner is Enigma. Enigma's the only jungler that personally I can keep pace with the rest of my team in lane. But in your experience, what heroes would you say can most effectively jungle without severely handicapping their team?
I think the two that I would be least upset with to see in my pubs, if we're using that as a benchmark, is either Nature's Prophet or one of the two supports, Chen or Enchantress. Because when your support's jungling, you're at least not losing out on golden XP for a core hero. And that support that's just starting in the jungle is probably going to be more effective than, or amass more gold and XP than they would in a lane anyway. So those would be the heroes that I would more than likely want to pick.
So we have spent a lot of time on the rules. We are still stalling because at the moment the Dota
the
2
game coordinator's
coordinator,
hiccuping.
the coordinator is doing the wonderful post-update aftershocks, and so we have half the lobby in. We do not have a full game lobby. We do only have 5 people in the lobby at the moment. But we will move on to the sabotage. I won't say sabotages. We don't have to go through all 4 because the teams have already purchased their sabotages. Both Radiant and Dire chose to expend 3 of their initial 5 starting spies. Remember, these are the first matches for these two teams. This is the round 1. They started with 5 spies and they both opted to use 3 of them to purchase Battle Cry. And so Battle Cry was chosen by both Radiant and Dire, and it states that if an enemy is going to gank a lane, they must in all chat type a battle cry stating their intention to gank. Not even stating their intention to gank, just has to be a creative battle cry. And I'm really hoping that we don't see one person just copy and paste and use the same battle cry every time. I would absolutely love to see a series of unique battle cries. But
Possibly
that
in character ones. You can
Oh, that
imagine
would be
Axe
fantastic.
running to someone's lane.
Axe is Axe.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting that this was the one that both teams picked. Like, obviously, knowing exactly when an enemy hero is going to gank your lane is going to make the game much easier for you. But that's something that's also pretty easily gleaned by in-game knowledge, right? Like having heroes missing and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's interesting that teams start out with 5 spies, correct? That they
Yes.
spend over half of their spies in their first game for this kind of effect, especially when knowing the lane matchups in a game mode where one hero on your team can only die twice before you lose seems exceptionally powerful.
Mm-hmm.
At a less of a cost even than Battlecry.
So we've already talked about the rules. We talked about the sabotages before we had the wonderful the stone thrown our way by Valve. Thank you once again for that.
The stone being the best set in the last 2 years. But yes.
I see you've changed your Discord name to
Yes. It has
that's
been done.
Okay, moving on. We have also now selected our contracts. So for those of you unaware, the sabotages cost spies. The contracts are how teams earn more spies. So using the contracts, win or lose, just provided that the contract has been satisfied, they will receive the spies, win or lose. So let's go down the list and see what was selected. So both teams opted for 3K behavior score. Oops, overlay mess up. Both teams opted for 3K behavior score. We saw this in the last match. It's kind of entertaining. Does not change gameplay much. When you die, you have to flame your team for letting you die. It's pretty simple. It doesn't really affect gameplay because all the typing is done while you're dead, waiting to respawn. But it adds a little bit of flavor to the match. We're now going to go down the Radiant contracts. Radiant chose 3 contracts, one of them being 3K behavior score. Their second selected contract was Get Down, Mr. President. So this one's interesting. It's actually essentially the same thing as 4 Protect 1. So I think they were very smart in selecting this contract. Some clarity. They're given the entire list of contracts, and they can select as many or as few as they want in any given match. Failure to complete the contracts incurs a penalty, but obviously successfully completing the contract gets a reward. This contract says you must select a president and make sure they don't die before the 15-minute mark. If the other team kills your president, then they get the 4 spies, but if you protect them for 15 minutes, then you get the spies. And so it very much is synergistic with 4 Protect 1. So I can absolutely see why that was selected. Radiant's third and final selected contract is a matching set. Buy 1 copy of the same item on every hero. The item must be worth 1,500 gold or more. So there are a few items that fit this that are reasonable on every hero. Key example being phase boots. You get everyone on your team to build phase boots. That's 1,500 right there. Obviously, doing that has some other issues because everyone on your team has phase boots. Thoughts on this one? What item, if you were a team and you needed everyone on your team to build the same 1,500 gold or more item, what would you as a captain say? Guys, we should build this.
It depends on what carries you're looking at, honestly. In particular, so you have the idea of your supports are going to have to build the same thing as a carry, and vice versa. So, what is something that they're not going to hate building? And I honestly think that in some comps, if you have something like a Wind Ranger, or not a Drow Ranger, the other Ranger on the team, then having it be something like a Force Staff is not terrible, or a Sniper as well, since they both have a long-term interest in Hurricane Pike. Alternatively, you could do something like Blink Dagger even. Phase Boots is another option, but if you want to make a very explosive team that is also evasive and hard to pin down, Blink Dagger is an option.
All right, and that is some good insight into Radiant's possibly draft strategy. So we will keep an eye on those contracts going forward. On the Dire side, they likewise selected 3K behavior score. So they also have this lovely contract 3K behavior score, where when you die, you must flame your team for letting you die. They have also selected 3K behavior scores twin, 11K behavior score, where in addition to flaming your team for letting you die, you must also compliment the enemy team for their excellent Dota tree. Again, self-explanatory, minimal game impact, but adds a bit of color to the match. Speaking of color, Dire's third of 5 selected contracts is color coordination. So they must all pick heroes. Or they must pick 5 heroes that share a color. That's a little interesting. You have to commit to a color early on. Your first pick identifies what your color is. The problem with that is if you want to complete the contract and not take the contract fail penalty, then you have to stay on that color commitment. The problem is you've tipped your hand. The opposing team knows what to ban now. So
Yeah, banning someone out of a color just to ruin their contract seems pretty spicy to me.
wow, I'm sorry. I helped design this whole tournament, and yet I don't know how it works. I've just been informed by production. The other team does not know about your contracts unless
Unless
it
they have to be
is
declared.
yes. The contracts which must be declared are obviously declared, but color coordination does not fall under the bracket.
But even so, the
Okay.
first 2 picks might signal that, or it could be used to bait it could be used by teams to bait the other team into banning, say, blue heroes when that's not your theme.
This is true. I also, in addition to not knowing how our own tournament works, I can't count. Dire actually selected 6. They selected 6 contracts. So let's keep moving along. Color coordination. The
I
next
was
one that they
wondering when a team would
chose.
do this.
The next one they chose was Dagon Rush.
Nice.
So the first item, and any person on the team may complete this contract. Any selected hero on your team must rush a Dagon before anything else. They are allowed to buy brown boots and consumables. That is it.
We saw
Dagon
this done on a
first real
Pugna
item.
earlier.
Yes, and it worked really well for the Pugna. They were able to. That Pugna completed 3 contracts all by themselves. It went really well for them. Speaking of which, they may have seen this past game. Who's Dire? Dire's gonna be Is Dire Breakfast? Yeah, Dire's Breakfast. They may have seen last match because they also went with the contract we saw last game, 1 for each foot. So a hero on your team must buy 2 boots. They have to buy 2 brown boots. They can be upgraded. They can be dropped on the floor or tossed in your backpack, but they cannot be sold. You have to buy the boots, and you can't get your money back. And moving this along again, just like last game, we're also going to see Counter-Strike. So we saw this last time. You have to plant a bomb, which is a iron branch, and inform the enemy team that the bomb has been planted. They have 10 minutes to find it and defuse it, or you get your contract completion. So deepest apologies. I'm trying to read 4 things at once at the same time, and that is a bit confusing. We still do not have all 10 players in our lobby. The production staff is all here, but 2 players have infamously slow internet, so we
That
are
just gives us
awaiting
more
them.
time to talk about these
It
conditions.
does. So let's run through the contracts real quick. Radiant selected 3K behavior score, get down, Mr. President, and matching set being they all have to get a 1500 gold item or more. Dire selected 3K and 11K behavior score, a color coordinated draft, Dagon Rush, 1 for each foot, that's 2 types of boots, and Counter Strike. So Moogie, Kitty, take it away. What do you think about the synergy between all of the sabotages, which I'm sorry, not all of the sabotages, the sabotage of Battlecry, 4 Protect 1, Full Time Jungle, and the aforementioned contracts?
So I'm gonna take a called shot here and say that Dyer is probably drafting green heroes, because not only is
Talk about
Treant
Prophet.
Protector green or Prophet very good at hiding the Iron Branch in a completely inaccessible area by any
And
other
jungle
heroes.
capable.
Yes, also can jungle, and we already saw Pugna do the 1 for each foot and Dagon Rush last game. So my inclination is that they're going to draft green.
Hey, that means you might get to see the Wind Ranger Arcana.
That is true. I'm not sure if it's more blue or green. But yeah, I think that would be a good way to try to get all of those contracts done all at once. Should also be pretty interesting to see what Radiant chooses as their one item that they're buying. Obviously, you mentioned like Blink or Force Staff probably being the easiest and the strongest 2 options out of all of them. But
One
we
of
will
the
see.
other interesting questions. So this actually ties into broader tournament strategy. So if you think of Spies as a currency, right, you have these opportunities to earn them each game through completing these contracts, as well as expending them on basically generating advantage in your later games. So one of the ideas, and I've heard at least 2 teams strategizing about this, is to take a crap ton of contracts game 1. If you win, great. But if you lose, so long as you complete those contracts, you then have a lot of opportunity to make that run back happen. Especially depending upon, if you take a look at the cost of different sabotages. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 available each time. So trying to make sure that you have the luxury of, buying the 4 and the 3 against teams moving forward. Especially since, for your first game, you can't really buy that many because you don't have those spies accrued yet. So the idea of completing a lot of these, but also if the penalty for not completing a contract is 1 spy, if you take a whole bunch of 2 and 3 cost contracts, or rather 2 and 3 spy contracts, or even more, you only have to complete a certain ratio of them to make it pay off.
Yeah, that is true. You saw that even in Midas mode, where teams were essentially ecoing until much later in the tournament, and were randoming heroes, or just picking the worst of the worst. And even if they lost and got sent to the lower bracket, it was fine, because by the time these teams that had already expended all of their currency, I forget what they called it exactly, Midas bucks or something, they were able to pick the most meta heroes and stomp teams that could only random because they had run out of currency. So it should be interesting to see
The
how
macro
teams metagame this tournament, as opposed to just their play inside of it. From what I've seen, NA has probably done the most thinking about it. I haven't been privy to the EU teams, but
I've heard some strategy coming out of both the NA and the EU teams, so I think there's going to be some interesting games later on today.
Yeah, for sure.
So we did just get word from production that we are going to go to a quick break while we await the rest of our players to join. We're going to give you an inspirational propaganda message and a bit of music while we wait these last two players. Apologies for the delay. Thank you for bearing with us.
Also, don't vote Faces Void, vote Spectre.
Are you? All right, welcome back. We are still awaiting one final player, but we have heard that they are on their way. So we are going to do something that we are very good at, stall for time.
Hey! Now, one of the things I'm curious about is whether the teams are availing themselves of this opportunity to strategize in more depth. Whether we're going to see more clarity in some of the bans and picks early on, just given the time that they've had to think.
That is true. These teams have had an extended period of knowing what the sabotages and what the contracts are. Normally teams, they see the rules, they see the sabotages, and then within five to 8 minutes, we are in the draft and we're picking.
Mm-hmm.
And this set of teams has had probably 20-25 minutes now.
Something to that effect. Quite a while. Now, the kind of thing where you can get up, stretch your legs, grab a snack, think, and come back with those, oh my god, I'm an idiot, sorts of thoughts. I'm really curious, honestly, as to what's going to wind up being the lane dynamics. Oh, hey! Signs of life!
Going.
The lobby has commenced!
We are going. We got our last person in the lobby, and Garlic was that. Garlic, you could be a Drag
It was
race.
like
So that's what
Olympic
it's called.
starters, just
Yeah. There was no delay there. He got in the lobby. Boom. We were going. Well, this commences my extended period of time talking to you lovely people. I hope you very much enjoy this match, and I will leave you once more in the extremely capable hands of Moogie and Kitty. Take it away.
thank you very much, Astra. So
Uh,
right away we have bands coming in.
Yeah. So Techies Resect ban against the EU Techies Picker stack, which is pretty standard, I think. And then Veno being banned out. We saw it earlier in this jungle dedicated thing, and if he can get, if he can get going, Venomancer can jungle extremely quickly. So
A Skywrath ban as well, given Skywrath's ability to pretty much delete heroes on the map pre-BKB. I can definitely understand that coming in, especially if you're trying to protect a particular hero.
yeah, I mean that's also probably a good reason for banning Techies too. You don't want your carry instantly dying to random Techies mine piles 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Doom is another good ban.
Yeah. We may just end up seeing like all these heroes that can just solo kill a single enemy hero.
Enigma's going to be the jungler, most likely, for
Yep.
Radiant. And Ogre Magi coming out from Dire. I like Ogre Magi as a draft opener.
So it looks like Dire is not drafting green. They're
Blue.
drafting blue. We'll see if Radiant catches on and starts banning all the blue heroes that are still good.
I could almost see Night Stalker buying 2 sets of boots. He has an interest in things like phase already. Helps him more easily run down heroes. Gets him in and out a lot faster. But I could also see him building something like a pair of Tranquils alongside it.
So Dazzle, that's pretty good for the 4 Protect 1 strategy as well. Just being able to grave and save your hero that you're required to protect.
If they don't ban AA, then AA would be a blue hero for Dire.
Yeah, that is true as well.
But that would also leave them in an awkward position of probably playing AA mid.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's not ideal, but it's one of those supports that can be run mid with some success. So Anti-Mage and Huskar banned out.
Anti-Mage would be a very evasive, split-pushy sort of carry, and I could definitely see him being your designated protectee.
Yeah, that also Anti-Mage and Huskar are very hard to coordinate and kill, especially at lower skill levels. So we tend to see, especially even in the beginner tier lobbies, that these kind of heroes are just always banned out, right? They're just hard to kill, they're hard to catch, and even
if it
when
takes
they're
more
low
than
health,
2 heroes to kill a hero, it probably gets banned.
Yeah. So Bristleback out of the pool as well. Another one of those just like never dies heroes.
Faceless Void has so much potential to kill and pick off even your designated protectee.
Yeah.
Now this is shaping up to be interesting. We're still looking for the Dire jungler.
Yeah, neither of these heroes are their team's respective jungler. But I'm just looking through the hero list right now of like, what blue heroes do I not hate in the jungle that are still in the pool? And there's like...
There's the Prophet ban.
Yeah, there's like not a whole lot that I'm interested in seeing jungle. Like, there's Wisp jungle, but I'm not sure if that's something these players are aware of.
I don't know. There's been a few workshops run that might mean they're aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, Salt has run a couple
CM.
Wisp things. CM could be the full-time jungler.
She can do it. It's not pretty, but
she has an ability that can kill a large creep in one go.
What's the cooldown?
is not great considering her mana pool being so low and the cost of Frostbite being so high. We're also
6.
only doing it every 9 seconds at level 1. And
I could
it's going to
still
cost
suggest
140 mana.
one of the other things to note is if they decide to put the CM in the jungle, CM, once she starts leveling her aura, starts being able to positively impact the rest of the game.
Yeah, that is true. She does have a global aura that could work out.
And Night Stalker and Ogre both love that. So Centaur coming out for Radiant, and Storm Spirit coming out from the Dire, followed by another pair of bands, Spectre and Viper.
Viper, Spectre are both good at getting on to one hero and killing them.
Mhm.
So, understandable. Kind of want to start conceptualizing these lanes now because it's going to be kind of hard with the full-time jungler, right? Even though I think Radiance is probably pretty obvious in the Enigma. Centaur is probably offlaning, and then Weaver can go to either lane, which is pretty good and open-ended. I think Dire's draft is a little all over the place. You know the Storm's probably going to go mid. This Night Stalker is off lane, but
I would specify that the Storm will solo lane. One of the
Yeah.
other interesting strategies that does come up is if you have only 4 heroes to allocate to lane, do you dedicate 2 heroes to mid with the understanding that you can dumpster the enemy mid and leave 2 solo side laners, which there's plenty of heroes that are relatively solo capable in a side lane versus 2 heroes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility that you could do as well. I don't think there are enough good blue heroes to do that. But yeah, I could see Radiant maybe doing it. But I think we're probably going to see a more standard like 2-1-1 laning setup. I think right now the Radiant has Centaur, which is a pretty survivable hero early on, so that's really safe solo off lane hero to pick. And Luna. So that leaves probably Luna or Crystal Maiden as the 2 best junglers on Dire.
Yeah. Trying to think. Night Stalker CM is definitely a lane that you could run if you put Luna in the jungle. And Ogre Magi is pretty durable and doesn't need to get a lot out of lane. You'd be conceding a lot of value in the lane. But I could see putting him solo, especially on the safe lane side, actually, since he'd have better access to his tower to help utilize as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be interesting because it could go either way. I think CM jungle to me seems like the weaker of the 2 options. I think just running your Night Stalker as one, like you said, is probably smarter. Leads to stronger lanes, I think. But I wonder who Dire's picking as their Protect 1 hero. Because I don't think, outside of like Ogre, I don't think any of them are inherently survivable. Like Storm Spirit in the ideal game is pretty survivable and hard to catch.
That's in the ideal game.
Yeah, that's assuming he never gets stunned. Because Storm Spirit lockdown or immobile is an easy kill, and especially a hero that's especially easy to overextend on and get punished very hard for.
And there are 2 non-ult stuns available on the Radiant. Malefice on Enigma with Centaur Stomp as the other. And now Void Spirit.
So this is going to be a Weaver pause one then.
Yeah.
And I'm unsure of who's playing what positions on Dire, but Um,
I'm
if
really trying to think.
yeah,
How's the Storm Void matchup?
I think it's pretty even. Like it's pretty hard for either of the heroes to kill each other. And the primary source of Storm Spirit's damage is magical in the lane. So Void Spirit's physical damage shield is not quite as good of a harass and trading tool when you have to walk up and click a Storm Spirit that can drop a remnant. But Storm Spirit or Void Spirit Ags is a very strong item against Storm in the later parts of the game. He also can just hit you with his Aether Remnant sometimes, and if
And that's
you get
another
Aether
form of
Remnanted,
catch.
yeah, you just die. The stun is so long. There's the awkward situations where you zip right into a remnant as well. So it should be interesting to see.
The game is trying to kick me out. It's having a little bit of difficulty loading in. Let's see if this resolves.
Yeah, I was kicked from the game as well. I'm going to try to reconnect.
It is not allowing me to reconnect.
Yeah, let's see Fafford. Fafford is also having the same problem. Nice.
Leave it to Valve to drop a big update on a day that we're running this big event with all this behind the scenes work going on.
Yeah, all this hard work and effort. Yet again, another instance of Valve trying to ruin their competitive scene. Valve no care about game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and of course,
that's what I'm gonna go with.
Of course, making all this trouble for some of the awesome organizers behind the scenes, like Fafford and Astro and Mr. Garlic, who have been putting this whole event together. Giving them
the better part of 2 months.
Come on, Valve.
Yeah. Yeah. Game will not be scored. Safe to leave.
It will not let me load in. I think this is a case where we're going to have to restart and quickly remake the draft.
Yeah,
that had to happen.
We'll have to wait for confirmation for Garlic and everything else. But look at that Wind Ranger Arcana.
In the meantime,
Holy.
I think we can go to a break and get this sorted out.
We will be right back.
Yes. Why does stream have no audio? Oh, okay. Let me. You want me to just restart the stream? I guess. It looks like there should be audio. Oh, hold on. I think the stream can hear me, but not you. Is my guess. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, that shouldn't theoretically make any sense.
Change it back. Like change it to system default and then change it back to headphones. Okay, do that and then see if it picks up. Okay, is our little
Quick check.
voice meter jumping? Awesome.
Okay. We're sorry for that brief technical snafu. It appears that Valve also attempted to break our stream. So in this, we did miss out on First Blood occurring in top lane, but we should be set and ready to roll from here on out.
Yeah, I would hope so, at least. So, like we were mentioning while we were muted, we're probably going to want to be looking towards top lane as the most, with the most action happening up there, seeing as there's 4 heroes in that lane. Also relevant that the Weaver is in that lane. If they kill the Weaver 3 times this game, Dire will just automatically win. Another close matchup we have is the mid lane. The Storm and Void Spirit are pretty evenly matched, so it should be interesting to see who comes out on top there.
Looks like the Storm's been doing a little bit better on the last hitting, but it's not an insurmountable advantage.
Yeah, so another interesting thing to look at is bottom lane. The Centaur is already walking back to base. The Night Stalker got a salve break on the Centaur, which is completely forced him out of lane, which means this Night Stalker is getting free farm and solo XP, which is
That's
gonna
really bad for the Radiant.
Yeah.
One of the things about Centaur and Night Stalker aren't going to do much to each other in lane, but Night Stalker wants to be, hitting some of the key levels, like level 4 before nighttime with boots, preferably upgraded.
Yeah. Night Stalker also one of the few heroes that can get on top of and kill Weaver in the duration of his silence. Let's check in on these junglers. Crystal Maiden, level 3, has used all 4 of her clarities already in this top jungle. Doing a good job keeping up with stacking creeps in between. Yeah.
So this is also turning into a way to generate advantage for the Luna or the Storm.
Yeah, judging where these stacks are, I would assume the Storm is going to take it.
Because she takes the big creep, she stacks both camps, and makes a lot of money.
And then the Enigma is going Soul Ring first, which is pretty standard. First blood or a death bottom lane.
Oh,
Looks
that's
like, yeah, looks like he dove the tower a little too aggressively.
And that time is worth a lot for a Night Stalker. That is not time you want to be giving up. Especially since Centaur doesn't have a Stampede yet, which means that they are going to have less ability to respond to Night Stalker's nighttime movements, except now Oh look, we have level 6. Once the Centaur has mana,
Yeah. It looks like another kill top lane. This Weaver getting the kill on Ogre Magi. And mid lane, Storm and Void getting kind of low here. Storm level 6, but with not a whole lot of mana, I'm not sure he can capitalize on the kill without getting
Void
this
picking up a
TD.
DD. Okay,
So, if we're looking at last hits right now, Storm is far and away the most last hits in the game. So,
but we
looking
also
at
see him
maybe rushing
parallelizing
the
his farm.
yeah, he's looking to build this Orchid first, which we're seeing on a lot of Storm Spirits nowadays. Which is also going to help further their game plan of kill the bug.
Mhm. It also
and
gives
win the game.
heightened pickoff potential on the Dazzle, which is an important one, especially given that the Radiant has 2 heroes they're trying to protect.
Weaver may die here, and that's going to be his first death. Maybe not. Okay, and Weaver does go down just barely to this Ogre Magi. That is 1 death of 3 that he has allowed this game.
That is not a comfortable position to be in.
Yeah, especially not having even gotten out of the laning stage yet.
And we see some of the evidence of the contracts coming out with some of the flaming going on here.
Yep. Trying to get their Spies, doing the 3k behavior score contract, where every time a member of your team dies, you have to blame them for your unfortunate demise. Centaur Stampede going on the Night Stalker bottom. Nothing's going to come of it, though. As the Night Stalker, still nighttime, very strong, very speedy.
Ogre's gonna go down
and
and
actually turning back on the Centaur, both of them getting a low bottom. I think this Centaur might die here if he's not super careful. Looks like he's going to
no,
get a
tower
first
diving.
tower. Another tower dive by the Night Stalker bottom. Looks like
Meanwhile,
he's
the
going to
Centaur.
back away.
One of the big things you'll notice on the Centaur is that he does not have much regen in terms of the itemization, so not things like the Ring of Health into Vanguard or Hood that you might often see.
And he just dies. That is what happens when you walk into a lane with under 200 health against a 200 health nuke. You'll probably die. So let's see. CM still making, I guess, good progress. It looks like she's going the double boots, yeah, for this game. Be interesting to see if she has that second pair of boots and she's just going to drop them, or is she going to try to build something useful for her team?
Could turn it into Travels or something, be the fastest CM that we've seen.
This side of the Mississippi, yeah. Also, could just be going Greaves. Also a consideration on support heroes. Top lane, looks like the Luna is doing... is pretty on par, honestly, with the Weaver. Both heroes have pretty easy ways to get CS and secure their range creep, so I would expect that lane to go pretty even.
I found who's going to make the Dagon.
Who is making Dagon? That's the Dire contract, right?
That's going to be Ogre.
Sick.
Multicast Dagon, let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. This is having to rush Dagon before you even get mana boots is kind of miserable on that hero, but with Arcane,
many ogres would rush a Midas instead, at least in my pubs. So
yeah, I mean that's true. Also, like Arcane Aura gives him 1 mana regen a second, so I mean, I guess. Looks
If
like
the CM
the
wasn't on the
Void
team,
dies mid. Just getting beaten by the Storm Spirit to the rune, gets a haste and murders him. Weaver getting kind of low top lane, could die again.
takes out the Ogre.
Yeah, very risky for him to go on these kills like this. The Night Stalker rotates top, but doesn't look like they're gonna get him. He's gonna TP back to
Yep,
base.
very
Can't
wisely.
Yeah, can't risk being out on the map with low HP. Night Stalker's gonna go back all the way to their base to look for him though.
I wish that Night Stalker had more points in Hunter in the Night right now.
Yeah, only having the 2 is
Having the 3 on Void is okay, given the lane that he was in, but I really want that 3rd point in Hunter in the Night.
Yeah, I think I think both teams probably understand the easiest way to win this game is just kill their Protect 1 3 times. I think they're probably not going to try to make moves against the Weaver until the Storm buys his Orchid, which I believe he's flying out his Oblivion Staff right now, his first
Storm
one.
rotating bot to help take out the Centaur.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty easy kill too. Like, I think this combo is what to look out for. The AoE silence on the Night Stalker doesn't allow Weaver, even if he goes to Lincoln as his first item.
Catches the Storm. Storm appears to be getting away. Storm's able to get out of that. Void going in for a solo gank there, that doesn't feel great.
CM war crying and coming in top lane. And as expected, doesn't get the kill because of the announcement.
Well, one of the other problems is you're talking about a CM here, one of the slowest base speed heroes in the game, even with the 5 move speed buff that she recently received.
Yeah, even with 2 boots. Feels bad, man. Enigma looking to get the Blink Dagger as their first item. Makes sense. An easy way to catch the Storm Spirit. Storm going on this Void middle. Looks like they're both going to bail out, being out of mana and HP.
Trouble top. Probably going to go down there. As soon as that Grave wore off. Centaur ulti being used.
Uh-oh. They might
We
catch
just trying to get 2
here.
kills. We got too greedy.
Oh, this is not how you should be playing your can only die bug.
Oh, you saw the greed and you saw the punish. That was a beautiful response by the CM.
Yeah. Night Stalker looking for something bottom. I'm not sure what he's looking for. But the scenery there is nice, at least. Those are some pretty trees. So this means that Weaver cannot die for the rest of the game if Radiant wants to win. Oh, that's what Night Stalker was doing. He was placing the bomb. Did we see exactly where he got that off at?
I did not.
I think he put it up on this Tinker Ward spot, or was at least trying to put it up here.
It is next to the Tinker Ward spot. And
that makes sense.
I really like that usage of... I wish they could have more fluidly incorporated it into something like a gank movement. It feels really bad dropping the ult and just doing that. But it is a good use of the free pathing.
Yeah. I worry for Radiant only because this Weaver can't come top anymore. Because he's already died twice in this lane. And it's very scary for him to walk back up there again and possibly die to showing on the Storm Spirit.
I don't think that there's any combination of heroes on Dire right now that the Weaver can actually go on or be near. I think that any 2 heroes on the Dire can kill that Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, if the Storm or the Night Stalker ever find him jungling, he's probably going to die.
The Enigma just took a death prior to the 15-minute mark.
Yep, so that's another contract not completed by Radiant.
And the Void Spear going down top. This is not looking at all good.
Yeah, even if you're trying to exclude the Weaver not dying again, Radiant already up 2k net worth, and the Storm and Luna topping net worth charts by about 1k apiece.
No, this is not a good position, and I also don't like Radiant's high ground defense enough.
Yeah, I mean, they ultimately are a black hole Enigma team, so there's always a chance that, they're behind on heroes that want to be ahead, But if we're looking at any way for Radiant to get back in this game, it's Enigma hitting very good black holes, or being able to pick off the
Void
storm.
Spirit hitting Ags gives you enough team fight potential that in conjunction with the black hole, I could definitely see being able to turn this around. But otherwise, once again, we have this problem. You have a hero who you cannot afford to have die, who dies to any combination of two heroes on the dire side. Just because of the combination of ability to chase down, keep up with, lock down.
Yeah,
Void
Storm
Spirit
with this
dying and
Orchid too. Yeah, it's starting. If they like, Weaver doesn't even have mana for ultimate right now. I feel like they should really just be hunting him down and trying to end the game as soon as possible before he gets any sort of defensive items or ability to, tank up or not die instantly.
One of the other things that I'm looking at. So, from an itemization perspective, what does Radiant do versus Dire? BKB?
Yeah, I think your best options are Yules or BKB. Both help prevent Storm from going on you with the Orchid. Yules can help you with the duration of the AoE silence on the Night Stalker, or dodge the last few ticks of an Eclipse or something. But
that's also something that feels like really bad.
yeah, Yules not the best item to be buying in Dota right now, but
Yules is fine on the Dazzle, partly because of the cooldown reduction that Dazzle gets as courtesy of his ult. But now we have the... Oh no, they spot the Weaver!
They know where Weaver is, kind of. He doesn't have mana for his ultimate. He's just going to TP all the way back to base.
Mana for TP.
So, Dire completely controlling the map because one core on Radiant can't actually show anywhere on the map without dying. And Storm with his Invis rune might be as positioning himself bottom, but could catch out the Weaver as well.
Centaur TP'd out and got the heck out of dodge. Ogre getting caught by the Void Spirit, but is ultimately going to go down.
Yeah, that is one dead Ogre, but
if you trade that for the rest of your team disengaging, it's not ideal, but...
Yeah, I would love the Storm to just TP top right now and kill just zip on the Weaver and end the game. I think if that's how they... Looks like a fight's going to come out here,
ulti happening? They're trying to get the Storm. They're trying to catch the Storm. Everything is on him, but he darts out. We have CM ulti down. Centaur stuck at the middle of it. Enigma getting caught. Goes down. Centaur's going to die as well as soon as that shallow grave runs out. Yep. Meanwhile, the Dazzle's hiding under tower and is going to get dove by the Storm.
Yeah, very good counter initiation from the Night Stalker getting into the middle of their team and the Enigma blink and getting the silence off.
Mm-hmm.
So the Enigma was positioned for a 3 or 4 man black hole at the start of that fight, which could have
been devastating, but
could have transitioned them into a one team fight. But great,
or even a strong draw on a team fight, which Radiant needs to not be losing team fights, and that keeps happening.
Yeah, the Luna is now 3k ahead of the Weaver, the Storm 2k ahead
Sits
of the
on
Weaver.
a completed Manta as well, with a grand to spare.
Yeah. Storm finishing up his Kaya, probably going to go for Bloodstone next. It looks like Radiant wants to fight here.
Enigma's still looking for that black hole. Might get it here. Take a look at the positioning.
Yeah. Needs to use it.
Needs to jump?
There's...
One person black hole.
Yeah, I mean...
You can do that. I really wanted that to be at least a 2-person.
Yeah. Something to keep in mind, too, is a lot of players, when they're playing these big team fight ultimate heroes, end up wanting or feeling the pressure to hit 4 or 5 man black holes, when usually just doing it on 2 heroes is good enough, and you end up in the situation we just saw where you're holding it for the entire duration of the team fight.
And there were at least 2 spots in there that looked like they wanted to be 3 to 4 person black holes.
Yeah.
Probably 3-person. But those would have been great, and probably gotten 2 kills out of them, even if you die in response. But
Weaver finished up his Deso just now. and has Nether Shawl equipped, which I'm not sure is the ideal item for Weaver. I guess it's alright,
I guess if you're
but
trying to use Sakuchi to farm and using that as wave clear, I could see wanting the extra spell damage out of it. But
yeah.
it's still a little bit awkward. On the upside, Weaver doesn't have much by way of an HP pool.
Looks like Dire smokes into the Radiant Triangle.
Centaur ulti, but the Centaur getting waylaid, gets caught, is going to go down. They're making mincemeat of the Centaur. The Centaur's usually not an easy mark.
Yeah, Centaur, unfortunately, low on the net worth graph. Storm is
Dazzle
just...
getting picked off there. Night Stalker and Storm are running around and just saying, okay, it's time to party. Which they can, and they should.
Yeah, Radiant Heroes lingering around lost team fights for a little bit too long. Something that Storm and Night Stalker both excel at punishing, so...
You know one of the things that's probably hurting that Centaur? I just noticed Night Stalker has a complete vessel, 7 charges. Does percent-wise damage, so even though Centaur has this ridiculously high strength gain, he's not getting anything out of it. So that, and the fact that they're just chasing him down. Okay. Centaur has a hood working on Blink, but I don't know if he's going to get there.
Yeah, probably need to be looking for immediate items for impact this game. Weaver has been doing a good job of splitting the map now.
Mm-hmm.
If
Night Stalker TPing into response?
Yeah.
Oh!
Storm also TPing in.
Night Stalker pause?
This is a bad spot to be in for the Weaver.
Yeah. The Iron Branch is also still sitting there. Did we get the time at which the bomb was placed?
I think it's coming up in a couple seconds here. 12 something. If I remember correctly. Yeah,
Sorry, that official time is 23:29. I'm sorry, 23:39.
Okay, so just over
a minute.
Cool. Yeah, I think, honestly, if Dire wants the easy out of this game, they should just be hunting this Weaver down wherever he goes. Because he's Radiant's win condition, and he also can't die anymore. So, stopping him from farming entirely. We'll see if they get this kill top, or bottom lane, actually. Looks like Storm cancels his TP. Or has his TP cancelled, rather, by the Void, or the Enigma Maledict. They're still chasing the Storm. Looks like they're gonna get turned on by the Lucent Beam of the Luna. And this guy should be dead when he drops from his Yules.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was dead to the Yules damage on landing.
So this Weaver is forced back to defend his tier 2 finally.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if Dire tries to make a play on this Weaver that's here.
We should also
Looks like Night Stalker's finishing his BKB as well.
Ooh, that's scary. Meanwhile, Ogre's on the cusp of completing the Dagon Rush. Dagon Rush without boots, even. No brown boots,
Yeah.
even.
Which is actually, I think, allowed, right? You're allowed to buy...
You're allowed brown boots.
Yeah, brown boots and regen. Ogre says, I don't need brown boots. I take me enough, I'll walk at 200 move speed in and Dagon you. Looks like
Black
the
hole
Storm...
down, takes out the Storm. Storm going down. Followed up by the CM death. Meanwhile, Luna is running as the enemy team is hot in pursuit. The Weaver is part of this pursuit, trying to take him down. Luna ulti down. But you got some pretty tanky heroes there, and you got enough folks that it's not going to pose the biggest risk yet. So, looks like Luna does get out. Night Stalker's starting to think of coming in. Has Malefice on him.
Yeah, starting to even up this game, because now Storm has 1 death on his 3 lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, only have to catch the Storm twice more. But the rest of the game outside of that is not looking so hot for Radiant.
One of the rough things as Radiant is if you've considered where the lanes are naturally tending to be, even though Weaver has been trying to keep things pushed out in the side lanes and keep some of that positive lane pressure going, the moment Weaver's not tending to it, they lose it. Night Stalker ulti down, leading to Void Spirit's death in the mid lane.
Ogre also just completed his Dagon, so maybe we get to see some hot Dagon action. The only fitting way for this game to go out is a 4 times multicast on the Weaver to insta kill him from full HP. That seems like the only. It seems like the only way for this game to end. Looks like they're gonna be forced to defend high ground here, maybe if Dire decides to go.
Meanwhile, Black Hole is still on cooldown for 80 seconds, which means that there is a prime opening here.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna back off and maybe go Roche here. Or just occupy this triangle area so they can't come here to farm, and maybe catch the Weaver trying to go there.
Luna does have her BKB, by the way, full 10-second BKB.
Yeah, let's see here.
CM's working on that Glimmer Cape, iconic pickup for a CM.
Yeah, Void has his Yule, so he has a way to not die to the storm finally.
Problem is, he wants too many items now.
Yeah,
he wants both BKB and eggs.
Yeah, he's very far behind at this point, but Dire goes in the Roche pit here, looking to end the game with a Weaver kill, or just the traditional win at this point. They're looking
I will say,
pretty
this
far
is
ahead.
a good opportunity. The same thing that afforded them an opportunity to potentially push high ground affords them the opportunity to Roche without fear of Black Hole.
Yeah. Another thing to consider is that Storm now has an Aegis, so you're gonna have to kill him twice just to get the 1 death on him. Looks like the Void Spirit just gets caught out here, lingered a little bit too long.
Dazzle making it away, though. But still, that's not a comfortable position to be in.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna trade tier 2s here. Bottom tier 2 for Dire for the Radiant tier 2, but that is all of Radiant's.
Dire was completely aware of where Weaver was during that, given the warding of the triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I'm very confused on. Maybe they want to not take the easy way out. Maybe they're doing it. Doing this the chivalrous way, and trying to end the game by natural means. But
it might be that they're. So one of the questions that you have in pursuing the alternate win conditions is: are you throwing away the opportunity for the conventional win? As alluring as the alternate win can be, are you going to make mistakes that then leave you open? If they're just choosing to pursue the main avenue for winning, and then maybe they get the alternate win condition, I like that approach.
Yeah, I think it's a fine approach. Like, to just play the game normally and maybe kill the Weaver 3 times. But as far ahead as they are and with the heroes that they have, I feel like killing a Weaver pre his BKB, which he's now completed, was a much easier task to undertake than the slow siege of high ground. Because with Black Hole up again now, it's going to be exceedingly difficult for them to push high ground.
Night Stalker getting caught there under the tier 3, but gets away.
The Black Hole on the 2.
Black Hole almost got the 3rd. Night Stalker almost walked back into it. Ooh. Luna going down as well as the Ogre. We have a beautiful ult from the CM.
The Weaver has to pop BKB to not instantly lose the game. It looks like they're going to commit just onto the Weaver to try to kill him. The shallow grave out as well.
Done. Oh, Centaur coming in just in time.
Storm could kill the Weaver if Weaver is not careful here.
Nah.
They're just going to chain stun him.
Holy cow.
That's a bit of a throw there. Not realizing that the Weaver had BKB, I think.
One of the things I do appreciate there is the use of the Aegis pop by the Void as a reliable setup into the Remnant.
Yeah, very, very good try at the chain stun on Storm. Because that would have put this game at basically even footing, even though being 6k behind. Putting 1 death on either Storm or Weaver ending the game would have been huge.
That said, Storm does have a Bloodstone, which, well, can't afford to lose too many charges on it at this point, because that means losing the game, but is currently sitting at 16 charges and was used in that whole sequence.
Yeah, he's also going for his BKB, so it's gonna start becoming kind of hard to kill that hero. But they've afforded Radiant an opportunity to come back into this game.
Centaur getting caught out top, though. That was not somewhere to be. I think he was there to place a ward and maybe get a little bit of farm, but just... The CM was there, the Luna was there, and they just kept punching.
Yeah, the Enigma now with Blink BKB, the Weaver with BKB, like Radiant's teamfight's starting to look up. Void Spirit's working on a BKB as well. This Dazzle, pretty poor support, but does have Glimmer Cape and Force Staff, so they have plenty of ways to save this Weaver in fights. As long as the Weaver's not getting caught out of position, I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to kill this Weaver. That being said, Night Stalker has the Mindbreaker coming out to him right now.
Ooh, that's a nice pickup. That just feels good.
Yeah, Mindbreaker plus Clumsy Net for Dire. Great ways to catch this Weaver. Additional ways to lock him down.
And even if the Weaver goes something like, say, Lincoln's to try to give himself at least time to pop a BKB, those are still additional ways to pop a Lincoln's.
Yeah, that is true. I really like that the Ogre just said, nah, I'm not just rushing Dagon 1, I'm rushing Dagon 5 and plan on buying
You know what?
else.
If you're gonna do it... Are we awarding bonus Spies? I don't know. If he hits Dagon 5, rush.
Yeah, with only brown boots. I think that's worth something, at least.
That's a chutzpah bonus right there.
Yeah. I mean, if their only goal is to delete Weaver from the game, that's the build you can go.
Bug Zapper build.
Yeah. So, it looks like they're going to siege high ground again here. If they just keep forcing 5v5 fights, there's the chance that this Weaver just gets gone on in a fight and dies. So I think it's their best way to try to end the game before giving Radiant a chance to get back into this.
Dire trying to get some vision to persist onto the Radiant high ground, but nope. Defensive sentries for the win.
Yeah, looks like they've changed their mind and are now going middle. The classic switcheroo.
This is one of those awkward phases that happens in a lot of these beginner games. And probably in a lot of your pubs in general. Where, okay, so we have all these items, we have all these timings, and now we have to breach high ground.
Yeah, the lack of understanding of exactly how their team is supposed to approach going high ground against the enemy 5 heroes is something that escapes most beginner tier players.
You also have the entire balance of, do you let them, just barely outside of their base, have them, take a couple waves of farm, get a little bit confident, and then catch them out, or do you just keep them so completely hemmed in that they do not have the option?
Yeah, with the Storm TP away, allows Radiant the opportunity to catch someone out.
Centaur getting caught out a little bit. We'll see if he goes down. Night Stalker ulti is down.
Going on to
the Dazzle, good target priority on that, but under the tier 3 tower is a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, BKB burned on the Night Stalker as well, so looks like it might be time to just chill and wait around for the next Roshan, which could be respawning very soon here. 33 seconds is the current Roshan timer. Night Stalker getting caught out with Aether Remnant into the Hoof Stomp here.
True Sight's very expensive, though. The Glimmer Cape.
Yep, Glimmer Cape. Invis equals invincibility.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, it never changes. No matter what rank you are, if you just go invis, no one will kill you. No core. No core wants to spend.
I just love bringing dust if I think they might go invis.
Yeah, as a core player, I can confirm that one of my least favorite things to do in a game of Dota, besides buying wards, is buying Dust of Appearance. Very expensive, looks like Roshan has a short respawn timer too, and
yeah.
Dire picks up on it almost immediately and takes
They time it?
Roshan.
One of the things that some of the players pick up on faster than others is making sure that you time Roche, keep track of when those windows of opportunity are.
Yeah, Roshan also having cheese this time. It's pretty big for the storm, but I'm pretty sure that in the game specifically, you're going to put that on both on Storm Sphere. I could be wrong, but it feels like that would be the play. It looks like they're kind of baiting Radiant to come contest this as well, with the Storm Spirit sitting outside of Roshan right now.
Meanwhile, Radiant's smoking over. They do have Black Hole. This is potentially devastating. I like the split of the supports around the pit, though, helping break the smoke before it can pop, or break the smoke before they can jump in. Dire does get the Aegis, goes to Luna, and Storm takes the cheese.
Yeah, I kind of surprised to not see them jump on them sitting in their triangle with vision, but it looks like they're going to catch this Void Spirit out, overstaying his welcome again.
Yep. Going down
So,
easy peasy.
Now,
That did mean that Night Stalker ulti got committed, though.
yeah, that's
natural nighttime anyway. Doesn't feel too bad.
yeah, not that big of a downside. Didn't use any BKBs or anything in that fight, so in a pretty good spot to just run up and take this fight while the Void is dead with no buyback.
It looks like in the next fight or so, CM might wind up with a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, Storm also has the double damage rune bottled, so it seems like the prime opportunity to fight here with the Void dead. Yes, has a complete BKB on hand that he has not purchased, but that is sometimes it's like that. And,
Sometimes it do be like that.
yeah, sometimes it be like that. I think they're kind of afraid of going high ground with this Blink BKB Enigma. It's just sitting under the tier 4 towers, basically daring Dire to come up high ground and commit to a fight. So they decide their best plan of attack here is to just continue to farm, choke Radiant out, and amass a net worth lead that is all the way to 15k now. So either way, Dire comes out ahead as long as they're not getting picked off. The Storm TP'd all the way back to the base to push this bottom wave in, which may allow Radiant to take a 5v4 fight.
Possibly, but Radiant's playing very scared, and understandable. The moment they keep stepping like a hair out of line, they're getting picked off, but this is also how you wind up with the slow death.
Storm has his BKB in his backpack now, so I would not be surprised to see the fight happen now that Storm has BKB.
I'm trying to think from the Radiant side, what are you playing for?
I think you're probably playing for this Weaver's Lincoln Sphere, plus a damage item. It's Weaver with this Desolator is going to shred a lot of the heroes on Dire. Like, is very good at killing Ogre and Crystal Maiden, and Storm if he's locked down long enough. So
Maybe
that's
like
probably what you're looking for.
on top of it for the damage.
I have seen Weavers go Daedalus or MKB as their like secondary damage item after the Deso if they're going Desolator. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the MKB picked up because of the Luna's natural tendency to go Butterfly.
Luna getting caught out. Luna's gonna go down.
Yep. So looks like Dire's gonna have to commit
a
to
9-second
this fight.
BKB. 4 staff away. That was not how you want your Aegis to go.
No. It looks like another hero is going to get caught out mid here, maybe. See if they turn this fight around.
BKB being used on the Night Stalker, going in, trying to get that Dazzle. Very clearly been told, kill the Dazzle, but now Night Stalker, BKB over, stuck way out of position, gonna go down. Centaur took a lot of... Oh, Luna ulti. Takes out the Dazzle. Got lucky with those strikes. A lot of heroes are low. Black Hole is down.
BKB, yeah. Storm because he did not respect.
Jeez!
Yeah, Cheese. He should just focus the Weaver here and try to kill him.
They're
Yeah,
trying to.
they're- Just
CM goes down. Luna's in some trouble here.
this is a great opportunity to chase and get a couple more
Good
kills.
stun for the Ogre. Now they've reprioritized, looking to go on the Ogre. That's going to be a dead Ogre, but did secure the Luna's escape.
Yeah. Again, Dire a little bit too split up to start these fights. It looks like they're not really Storm. Okay, he's gonna go grab it. Looks like they're not approaching these team fights with a plan in mind. They just kind of just getting picked apart here.
I think they have a plan. The problem is their plan is jumping the Dazzle, and the Dazzle is staying far enough back to be able to run to safety under tower or to be able to get coverage from the rest of their team, plus has a Glimmer Cape. I legitimately think that that's half of the problem right now, is that they are prioritizing the Dazzle so highly in fights, which, to be fair, is important. Dazzle being active in a fight means that you can't kill a designated enemy hero, which means that they are still able to wreak havoc on your team during that, or just get the heck out of dodge.
Yeah.
But that hyper-focus means that they're losing some of the reprioritization opportunities that present themselves, such as maybe Enigma is a little bit out of position, or maybe if you focus a little more, you get a Centaur kill, which leads into more kills.
Yeah, this Void Spirit just finished a BKB too, so now he is much harder to catch out than he was 30 seconds ago. And the Weaver also completing the Mantis tile, which lets him get out of the clumsy net route and the Orchid from Storm. So
Storm also
Again-
has Spies now.
okay, so he's got a hard disable for the Weaver now. Let's see if they start playing around just like full committing on Weaver, or if they continue to try to take these fights normally. Should be interesting to see what their plan is moving forward here.
I'm trying to recall the challenges. We have the matching set challenge still for Radiant to complete.
Yeah, it looks like matching set is going to be passed on by Radiant, unless this Weaver is planning on buying a Blink Dagger. There's no
Fight happening
item. Looks like they're gonna catch a Centaur, but he's just gonna
Centaur
ultimately get away.
disengages. Good disengage.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the item that they're all gonna go. Maybe it's BKB, but then I'm not sure how this
I thought.
is BKB an exception to this.
I
BKB is
do
allowed, I
not
thought.
believe so. BKB is
Yeah,
allowed.
It's totally
Okay.
That's
fine.
what I thought. Yeah, so unless, like, I could see that being a
BKB
thing
Blink?
because all of their cores have. Well, 2 of them have BKB. I don't know.
Two of them
I
have
don't think they're thinking about it very
So
much right now.
three of Radiant's cores have BKB. The only 2 that don't are the Dazzle and the Centaur.
Yeah. So, to complete that, you'd have to get a BKB on Dazzle, which doesn't sound very ideal, but
Honestly,
is
that
doable.
might not be bad. If they're going so far to dive Dazzle, that might be a play to bait them into making bad decisions, especially if you're able to keep it hidden until the moment you need it.
Yeah. Night Stalker Basher getting Abyssal Blade. Another BKB bursting stun for the Weaver. Also good against the Void Spirit. Let's see, it seems like Crystal Maiden has now decided to backpack her brown boots. No longer in need of the second set of boots.
Eventually, you can make travels, you know?
Yeah.
We all know
So
that
those-
lovely stage of 60-minute games.
And it looks like Radiant smoking to try to catch this Storm out of position. The black hole, it's easy as long as they find where he is.
Night Stalker popping the smoke on the Void Spirit.
Almost level 25 on Luna, too. She gets the 30% life steal talent or the Lucent Beam mini
She's
stuff.
gonna have Butterfly soon. Fight happening in the triangle. Ogre goes down.
Yeah, there you see the damage output of Weaver. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this hero is going to shred Dire team if they let them amass any more farm than they are.
Mhm.
Radiant also has a leveler on the ground, which they have now picked up. But the longer, like, the net worth advantage keeps growing in favor of Dire, but I'm not sure they have shown that they can leverage this advantage that they have. The Storm going for Bloodthorn.
Mhm.
I'm not entirely sure that is an item that you particularly want. The only thing that's going to get him killed this game is if he has not enough HP to survive Black Hole, or if he runs out of mana and the Weaver right clicks him to death. So maybe an HP armor item, something of that sort, would be what you're looking for.
So you're thinking more along the lines of something like Shiva's.
Yeah, in this game I would probably look towards something like Shiva's Guard, just to tank yourself up a little bit, make yourself a little bit more survivable. This Bloodthorn not really giving you any of those things, just gives you attack speed and
armor.
Yeah,
Like straight up double, because Shiva's gives 15 bonus armor.
yeah. It's is very good against minus armor, which is Weaver currently has 7 or 6 plus. Let's see, armor reduction per attack 1, so 6 plus armor reduction, which is not great when you only have 14 armor.
Mm-hmm.
Dire smoking, maybe looking just to get Roshan out of it.
Roche, by the way, loaded up with a Refresher Shard this time. Dire cannot afford to allow Radiant to have that.
Yeah, Refresher Shard on the Enigma would be a problem for them.
That would probably be, like, game-losing territory, honestly.
Yeah, Enigma going for the Aghanim Scepter. Almost has it, but is probably saving for buyback at this point in the game.
There's part of me that would really rather the Enigma go Refresher. Void getting caught out in mid lane, goes down, Storm jumping in to get in on that.
Yeah, Storm level 25 as well. It's the extra damage output of dropping Remnants for free along his zip. Looks like they might catch the Centaur here as well.
Oh man, there's
Void
flying all over. We have things like CM ulti down, we have the Night Stalker ulti down. I've seen a whole bunch of
Looks
stuff.
like they're hard committing on this Weaver as well. They're just running him down, trying to kill him.
Black Hole.
Amazing Black Hole, killing the Storm Spirit. Oh no.
We also have the Night Stalker and the CM going down. The Weaver is still going. Luna is stuck with fighting or running.
And it looks like the fighting plan is going pretty well so far.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Satanic does.
Yeah, Satanic Butterfly, pretty strong.
The team pinging the Weaver, going, kill the Weaver, please!
So
Weaver gets out.
Committed so much for that Weaver kill and just didn't get it, and was bailed out by a great 3-man Black Hole from the Enigma. Also getting the return kill on Storm evens this game out to either one of them dying, losing the game.
Yeah, that's not a comfortable spot for Radiant to be in.
Yeah, so I think you're probably going to see both teams play extremely passive here, as this Luna solo sieges high ground against the Weaver. The opposite of what I just suggested would happen, but Weaver too scared to fully commit, because if he dies, he loses his team the game.
Well, he also just watched the Luna. Like, they had 3 heroes that tried to kill the Luna, and the Luna came out healthier than she walked in, so...
Yeah, Weaver going for, looks like the Lincoln Sphere with his ultimate orb pickup. Possibly not the item this game, because his team is going to have a really hard time killing this Luna going forward. Something you could consider is MKB, but honestly, I would like to see the Weaver just sell his ultimate orb and go for Divine Rapier. If you lose, the game's over anyways. Divine Rapier, very good against the butterfly evasion from Luna. So I think that's probably their best option. Maybe finish this Lincoln's, get rid of this magic wand. Time to play some big boy Dota and buy a rapier.
Dyer taking out Roshan at this point. Luna taking the refresher shard, at least for the moment.
Storm getting the Aegis to secure him not throwing his team.
And Night Stalker take a cheese.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Night Stalker is also close to Abyssal.
Yeah, they have what they need to kill this, Aeon Disc even on the Storm Spirit, as our wonderful observer is pointing out. It's going the ultimate not die build. Also gives him some HP, which isn't terrible. It was what we were mentioning earlier, being one of his problems. Giving him 300 health is not terrible. Also, the passive ability, the combo breaker on the Aeon Disc being great at getting
and the opportunity to get the heck out of dodge.
Yeah, bail him out from getting caught out here. So, with one Rex down, it looks like Dyer is going to smoke and maybe go for high ground, or a pick off here into high ground. Radiant also not having buybacks this time if they fight alone, aside from the Centaur War Runner. They spent gold and no longer have buyback. So
it is not a comfortable position to be in. Not in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the Weaver not saving for it, because if he dies, the game is over regardless. But the other 4 heroes do not currently.
Enigma switched from going for Ags to going for Refresher. I do like that change.
Yeah. Weaver just split pushing lanes, trying to get use of this backpack leveler a little bit.
Trying to cut the waves, keep the pressure from coming in too hard. Because if you're cutting the waves and keeping some of that lane pressure from coming up so tight to your buildings, you also just protect them. It means that your team only has to hold off for, say, a creep wave, and then you get backdoor up again. Repair kit charge is starting to get used on the Radiant side, it looks like.
Yeah, just gonna try to slow siege this tower down. I'm not sure that's the most advisable plan, because this Weaver, even though they're not taking the leveler out of their backpack to hit these buildings, is doing quite a bit of chip damage to his bottom tier 3. You have to be kind of careful of just like taking too long to make a plan happen and letting this Weaver kind of cheese some of their buildings away.
So Storm does have the backpacked Aeon Disc. Probably going to swap that in the moment Aegis pops.
Yeah, I would honestly, even after Aegis pops, if he's not in immediate need of his Aeon Disc, see if they catch this Weaver here. They commit. They don't. Normally you see when Aeon Disc proc is super important, holding the, like locking the combining on the Aeon Disc.
And then allowing it to combine when you need it.
Yeah.
Fight happening in the triangle, Radiant side. Oh my god. Ogre getting liquefied. We have CM ulti down. We have a whole bunch of action going on. Centaur trying to sit on top of the Luna. Black hole going down, catching the Yule's Luna. Holy cow, I didn't even see the CM die. That was a beautiful turnabout.
Yeah, Storm late to the fight. Can't really commit to joining these fights just because of Black hole.
Radiant used the opportunity afforded by the Storm and the Night Stalker TPing out.
Yep. Yeah, Storm just can't commit to these fights because of Black Hole, but right now he has Aegis, so this is like the opportunity to go. Again, I'm not quite sure they're all on the same page here as what their plan is moving forward. And Radiant playing very well as a team, literally playing together, overcoming a 20k net worth disadvantage to the Dire.
It looks
just
like
by
they might have Void Spirit Ags for the next engagement.
Yeah, another great way to keep the Storm silenced and not casting abilities.
Refresher has also been completed on Enigma. Has not been used yet, but that is available in reserve, and I honestly expect that to be how the game ends.
Yeah. Weaver picking up Daedalus as well. Going to do a ton of damage and basically be able to kill whoever he wants as long as he's not stunned. So it looks like this game is rapidly approaching the final fight. Aegis Reclaim on Storm.
Which means that we are within 3 minutes of the earliest time that the Roche could spawn.
Yep. Next Roshan could also have an Aghanim Scepter on it.
It will have both Refresher and Ags.
Oh yeah,
it will be
because it's
fourth
fourth
Roche.
Roshan. Yeah. Ochre Magi, Dagon 5. Not great now that the whole enemy team has BKBs, but
Points for trying.
Yeah, I respect the decision to just go Dagon 5 regardless. Looks like Storm TPing top again. I think if Dire would play together as 5, I think they could easily win a team fight. But with the Storm being gone, that's 30k
This is
net worth.
shaping up to be an interesting engagement.
Yeah, looks like Storm will not be here for this fight if it breaks out.
CM blinking out of the way as Centaur tries to come in. Remnant catches the Night Stalker. Honestly, a light skirmish more than a full-out fight, unless they catch this Centaur. Or the Dazzle. The Dazzle is in trouble, actually. Centaur will be dropped.
Yeah, you can see the tentativeness of both teams to not hard commit to these fights.
I think they both scared the crap out of each other.
Yeah, one mistake in their 4 Protect 1 hero dies and the game's over. And it looks like Dire says, this game's ending now, we're just gonna take your
Luna
buildings.
caught by the Remnant, but Void Spirit trying to go in, but ducks back. Good disengage. Centaur's just hanging out there. The tier 3 tower does go down for Radiant.
Nice.
Dazzle not quite obliterated by the Dagon.
End is high ground. Alright. I like this approach. I like the slow siege, which literally just a Luna and the Storm sitting so far back that there's no way he's gonna get black gold. Literally standing on the high ground of his jungle.
So they're trying to pick off the Centaur at this point. 3-man black hole.
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
CM ulti
That
going
is
down just outside of it as well to try and support them. We have Luna ulti dropping as well. The creep wave's now gone, which means that the Void Spirit has nothing to protect him. The Dazzle's probably about to go down. Could just die off of Ricochet.
Luna
Get out.
is very strong. She's winning these fights basically on her own at this point.
Just keep right-clicking. Turns out it does damage.
Yeah, so now that's 2 barracks down. Even with the Storm basically doing nothing in that fight but zipping in and piecing out. It picks up his Aghanim's Blessing.
Shout out to CM, by the way, for the positioning in that fight, just outside the expected black hole dropping, and able to then drop her ult. It was good positioning.
Let's see, this Luna has 8k gold. Just picked up BOTs. Interested to see if she picks up a different item because she has the Moon Shard. Let's see if she goes for her Ags or not. But I think with the Roche respawning possibly in a minute 10, yeah, as they smoke towards this Luna who's invis and breaks their smoke. Nice.
Yep.
Cool. Nice smoke, Radiant.
Feels good to be Dire right there.
Yeah. So Dire gonna retreat and stand on their high ground until they know where the Radiant team is. Radiant gets a DD on this Weaver, who is going to hit so hard now. Yeah. 500 damage plus on each hit with that DD.
With crits.
Yeah. So you do not want to fight till that's over.
And Geminate hits mean that you have 2 chances to roll for the crit in the Geminate hits.
Yeah. Weaver is still holding on to this Nether Shawl, though. Would love to see them pick up Ninja Gear or a Paladin Sword. Luna opting for BOTs 2 over another actual item. Interesting.
Well, the Weaver does have the Leveler backpacked. I could also totally see the Weaver picking up the Ninja Gear and using that as he's moving around the map, since at that point you're subverting the entire vision game. You're able to move undetected.
Yeah, basically all the tier 4 neutral items better than the tier 2 nether shell item. But we'll see if they decide to change that up moving forward. Enigma finishing the refresher orb as well.
Mm-hmm.
They do have refresher black hole up now. And with the one black hole, Dire in position to take Roshan. Let's see if Radiant can contest this in time. Because it's dying fairly quickly right now.
I also wonder if they're going to get distracted by the 60-minute items, which are coming up in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Can you
looks
imagine
like
Luna with a ballista?
Yeah, Luna with Ballista should be interesting. Luna's going to pick up this Ag's Blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Refresher Shard and Cheese also available. Let's see what they all pick up.
She's currently sitting in the Ogre Magi's backpack.
Yeah, neither team rushing to get these tier 5 neutral items.
Nightstalk has lots of cheese.
Yeah, too bad Cheese Factory is not one of the... there's the Ballista for the Luna. So Luna now with Ballista, the backpacked Manta style, looking like she can 1v5. Very independent woman.
One of the things that's important about that is it increases her attack range even further. So while the leveler is very tempting and should get switched in, potentially, if they really just need to mow buildings down, having the increased attack range means that she's able to sit at safer distances. So she's got that and the Hurricane Pike helping her reach.
Mirror Shield for Dire as well. Great item for the Storm Spirit to increase his ability to not die. So that seems like their only game plan for the Storm right now is to itemize to not die.
I also like the Fallen Sky dropping. That's a feels-good item.
Yeah. Dire, on top of getting their tier 5 neutrals, it looks like Radiant has a Ballista as well on Weaver, and then
that's terrifying too.
Yeah, Mirror Shield on the Centaur Warrunner. So it looks like they're just searching up their last couple tier 5s before committing to any fights.
For how far forward Centaur has been in a lot of these engagements, that Mirror Shield may end up winning the game. Because they keep on going on.
Yeah, it's not bad. I would like to see it on the Void Spirit as well. Allowing him to dodge some of the initiation from Dire, especially being caught out as much as he has this game. He would not need it, but
Mirror Shield.
Yeah, Dire decides they're going to fight before Radiant gets a hands on any rules. Yeah.
I think that was the Void bouncing off of the shield.
Yeah. The Night Sucker also picks up Heaven's Halberd. Would love to see him put that in his inventory before this fight breaks out.
Oh, you're having a Dagon reflected back.
Yeah. Mirror Shield OP. So Weaver should go in the jungle right now and try to find these tier 5s for his team. He's getting even like Apex or Trident or anything to help put this game in their advantage.
Alternatively, go pick up a Rapier and base race.
Yeah, alternatively, buy a Rapier and man mode this Luna until she dies. I would also appreciate that move. Weaver getting close to this DD, might scout it out here, has vision of it.
Goes, ooh, that's yummy.
Yeah, please, just buy a Rapier. Do it for me, Weaver. Alright. Or
no, he's heading
race.
towards it without it.
Yeah, can probably backdoor these buildings. It's gonna take him a minute, though. Yeah.
That said, got the glyph, and that does have value.
Weaver TPing back now, joined his team for this fight. Dire still doing a great job of just letting Luna glaives off of heroes and hit this tower. This tower is almost dead at this point. They just...
The disarm...
got baited by the Halberd. The EKB on Enigma.
Luna's stuck in that. Refresher has been used. Enigma is looking for that follow-up black hole.
Yeah. BKB catches not the Storm, so that's
Luna.
Yeah. Looks like Storm just has to zip away now. He is out of mana completely, so they can catch him, and if they can chain lock him down long enough to kill him twice, the game is over. That is his Aegis down. Now they just have to lock him down again.
Except the Aeon Disc is coming off of cooldown.
Yeah, with no stun to set up from the Aegis respawn. He's just going to be able to zip from full mana away.
That's when, God, I'm trying to think. That's when, like, Radiant really wants something like an Abyssal.
Yeah, Abyssal. They also Centaur hoof stomped the dead Storm Spirit body, which could have been, if timed correctly, a way to get back in or stun the Storm.
More of the commentary coming out.
Yeah.
And it is currently about 70 seconds until the double black hole will be available once again.
Yeah, so the the double black hole, super critical in killing the Luna. Apex dropped for Radiant.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, we'll see who they put that on, but it's a terrifying tier 5 neutral item. I just think...
Actually, they don't have... You put the Mirror Shield on the Void Spirit and put the Apex on the Centaur, I guess?
Yeah, Centaur having literally like 2,000 more health because of Apex would be pretty cool. Let him literally just stand there and not die. Yeah, it's really hard for Dire.
Damage scales off of strength.
Yeah.
So it's also bonus retaliate damage.
Yep, Weaver has done it. Backpacked the boots, bought the Divine Rapier. Says, I can't die anyway. I'll buy Rapier.
We need...
So, yeah, I am very afraid of Dire's chances to win this game now, because Storm has this Aeon Disc, which doesn't really help him amp up his damage towards the late game. And this Ogre, only having Dagon, doesn't provide much utility to his team, but we see Dire smoke.
It's not Roche time yet, so it's not that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they check it anyways, yep. So they're just trying to find someone farming this triangle, but...
Nope.
We'll see if Radiant sniffs out that they're smoked.
They should just hop in the lane and backdoor the last 2 racks. Like, that's kind of the point they're at.
Radiant really baiting this Luna out. And Luna dead. Because Divine Rapier is a good item in Dota 2. You can catch this Centaur that's... or the Ogre that's just sticking around as well.
Yeah, that Ogre is... might be a relatively tanky boy. Still dies pretty quick there.
Yeah, that was a very good play by Radiant to just back off and sit in the trees and wait for Dire to break their smoke. Then it seemed like they didn't even realize their plan was as genius as they had planned, because Luna revealed herself and they all stood there and they're like, wait, here's a Luna standing in front of us alone.
No.
Yeah.
We've all been in pubs where it's the question of, is that real? Like, we know the hero has a manta. Is that real?
Yeah,
oh my God, it's real.
It broke their smoke, so in this situation they should know right off the bat that it's real.
I really wish Dire had, like, just said screw it and tried to take out the racks. Made Radiant fight into Megas.
Yeah,
It probably wouldn't have worked given the Rapier on the Weaver, but even trying to go for that.
Yeah. Like, CM has to be very careful. She just gets crit once and she's
CM
gonna
just got hit, like, 3 times.
Yeah. Like, this Weaver is now the strongest hero in the game. And you have to have a way to kill that hero and not let him get onto your backlines.
Radiant... They're trying to kill the Centaur. Looks like they're gonna get it.
Yeah, Dazzle having to stay in the base to keep the waves pushed out as well kind of makes them going high ground a little hard.
One of the other things that we've noticed in some of these fights is, you know, Luna will try to walk up, and part of the reason the Centaur is so far forward is trying to deliver that halberd, trying to make sure that she gets disarmed. So, having the Centaur be removed from fights has deceptively high value.
Let's see. Storm buying BOT is next. Oh, let's check on that Radiant contract of all of one kind. Looks like Rapier is going to be the choice of one set.
Hi, Void Spirit.
Yeah, Void Spirit also having Rapier now says, if I'm dying, I want to throw the game too. So he also purchases a Rapier. At this point, it makes sense.
If they all go Rapier,
I mean, it's good because they just want to delete the Luna as soon as they can, because if she can get Satanic off, the fights get really hard for her.
action hacking the Void Spirit, diving. Oh no.
Feeding Rapier?
That might
Maybe
be.
just debating with his body, though.
Oh! Black Hole going down does catch multiple of the Dire, but Enigma dies, has to buy back to come back into
Lincoln's
this.
down on the Weaver. This could be the game, and
That's Weaver down. That's a Rapier.
Yeah.
And Luna's alive.
Yeah. Well,
Except now.
the BM 5-man Black Hole.
You know what? You gotta do it.
Yeah. You
At that
gotta
point,
hit
you
the
gotta.
button. Yeah. Well, that was a really good effort put up by Radiant. I thought that game was going to end 35 minutes ago, honestly.
Yeah.
You thought it was going to end 35 minutes ago? It should have ended 50 minutes ago.
Once again, we're stuck with the
Yeah.
question of how the heck do we break high ground?
Yeah, like, just a little
That's
bit
really
too
the game
split up.
wanted.
Yeah. Just too split up. Didn't have a clear game plan for high ground. Almost let this Weaver solo carry the team back into the game with these Enigma black holes, but was not meant to be.
And taking a look at the final tally, we can confirm that matching set was not achieved.
Yeah.
We have three of a kinds all over the place.
Yeah.
But
To be fair, I think the bigger concern for their team at the 15-minute mark was, oh my god, we're 10k behind in 15 minutes. We need to just not lose.
probably.
So-
This is
so
more
running-
for the bookkeeping side of things.
Yeah.
Running down the contracts list, everybody abided by the sabotages and the rules. Going contracts, Radiant's completed 3k behavior score. They failed Get Down Mr. President, and they failed matching set, so they're going to take 2 contract penalties for that. Dire completed all of their contracts, 3k, 11k, color coordination, Dagon Rush, 1 for each foot, and Counter-Strike. So that is 6 completed contracts going
And
the
they
way
get
of
the
the Dire.
bonus from the
plus a win.
president, right?
Yep.
And a
they
bonus
get the
from
bonus
winning
for
by
killing
win
the president.
condition.
So
And
they have so many spies to spend in the coming games.
They are going to be the richest team in existence. But right now, I think we're going to go to the lower bracket final, so we're going to follow the Radiant team again. And first, we're going to go to a short break.